The biggest hurdle for most up and coming real estate investors is that they don't have the capital to put down or purchase another property. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about a creative refinancing strategy that you can use to tap the equity in your home to buy additional properties and build out a real estate portfolio. Hey, it's Robert Weinberg, and on this channel we empower people to take control of their future through expert mortgage and financial strategies. In this lesson, we're going to talk about using a cash-out refinance to buy additional rental properties and ultimately build out a real estate portfolio. So this is going to allow you to leverage the equity that you currently have in your home, probably the home that you live in. Maybe you've been paying on it for several years and you want to build out a portfolio and start bringing in additional income through rental properties. And it's important you understand that if you're someone who just bought your home in the last 6 months, 12 months, or even the last year or two, this is probably not going to be a strategy that you can implement because this strategy does require that you have a large amount of equity. And what I mean by that is at a minimum 20 to 30% equity position in your home, which is going to be the current market value versus the amount that you owe on your mortgage or mortgages in order to implement something like this. Now, if you have a little bit of equity, but maybe not a lot, then you could still use this strategy by just using the maximum amount of equity that you can get and putting it as a down payment on an additional property. So instead of actually buying a property outright with no mortgage on it, you could take out 10, 20, 30,000 or 40,000 or more dollars in equity depending on what's available and use that as an actual down payment on an additional property, because rental properties, unlike primary residences, they do have higher down payment requirements. So many people have an issue buying additional rentals because they need to come up with a 20 or 25% down payment, and it's hard to do that without tapping retirement or liquidating other funds. Well, the equity in your home, as we talk about, earns a 0% rate of return. So if you can take that equity out of your primary home and put that to work on a rental property, then you can get a very nice return on your investment and build out that property portfolio. So it's really important that you understand you're going to want to strategize on this with your mortgage advisor well ahead of time. And the reason is, as we'll talk about, that when opportunities come up, you want to be ready to pounce on them immediately. So really what this strategy is all about is doing this cash out refinance, having your home appraised in most cases, and getting whatever the maximum amount of cash out that they'll allow you to get. Again, depending on how much you've paid your mortgage down, how long you've lived in your property, you may have a small amount, 5, 10, 20,000 in equity, or you may have a large amount. I've got clients with multiple six figures in equity in their home. So depending on your personal circumstances, that's what's going to really drive the train when it comes to how much equity you can pull out and how much of another property that you're able to buy. But like I said, you want to get positioned, because when a good opportunity comes up, when a property comes up that you want to pounce on and you want to put an offer in on, that's not the time to be reaching your mortgage advisor and implementing this. If you see that this is something that you'd like to implement over the next 6, 12, 24 months, get with a mortgage advisor as quickly as you can. Tell them about your goals. Tell them about your long-term perspective on real estate and building a portfolio, and get positioned. Do the cash out refinance, get the money in the bank so that you can immediately go and use that money when the opportunity comes along. If you are going to need to get a mortgage on another property, then that's where having that mortgage advisor and having them partnered with you will help, because you'll have a pre-approval ready to go so you can purchase that other property without having to scramble and get things done at the last minute. Now, where this strategy really gets interesting is when you do this multiple times. When you use this cash out refinance to buy rental property, and you do this time and time again. So you can literally build out a portfolio of dozens of rental properties that will allow you to become financially independent and become wealthy by doing this. I have one client down in Florida. He's now in his late 50s, and he's been implementing this strategy for many years, several decades. I've only been working with him for the last 10 years, but he had been doing this long before that we had started working together. And he's now got a real estate portfolio of over 20 properties, ranging from single family all the way up to 4-unit properties, and they're all owned free and clear now. Using other mortgage acceleration strategies we talk about, he's paid them all off. But with that said, whether they're paid off or not, you've got an asset. you've got cash flow coming in, and you can really use real estate to build wealth. So when you're looking at people wondering how do they own multiple properties, what strategies are they using, this is one of the most common strategies that I see a lot of astute investors using to build out a really robust real estate portfolio over a long period of time. So I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some good insight. If it's your first time watching us, please go ahead and click the bell to get notified on all of our future content, and also click the subscribe button. You can follow me on all my social media channels for more content like this every week. And if I can be of assistance to you or anyone you know, please go ahead and reach out to me via call, text, or private message. We'll talk to you soon.